So if you haven't heard, we just got a release trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2, but perhaps more importantly, we got our first looks at Mario Kart 9. Now look, the footage was about 20 seconds long and you're seeing it now. There's really not a lot to unpack here, and I'm not going to waste your time theory crafting on what it all means because we'll find out more in April when the Nintendo Direct drops. But there are a lot of things missing from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that I think would make the next game amazing. So here are 5 features that I would absolutely love to see in Mario Kart 9. Number 1 is a better single-player experience. Mario Kart DS had a mission mode which saw you go through the tracks to complete specific objectives. Similarly, Mario Kart Tour has things like coin challenges and boss battle races, and I think that these concepts could really be fleshed out in Mario Kart 9 because honestly, the options we have available when playing offline are kind of the same as they've always been, and while they've added new battle modes over the years, I think Mario Kart is in desperate need of some really awesome offline content. I mean, just looking at the trailer, the track they showed us was absolutely gigantic, and how great would it be to actually turn Mario Kart single player into a more open world experience like Diddy Kong Racing, where new characters and karts are unlocked by playing through a story mode. If we really are getting 24-person lobbies and the tracks are upscaled enough, you could even add in these mission modes to online play. Think of like a 4-team 6v6 battle royale or scavenger hunt mode, something like that. Anyways, I don't know exactly how this should look, and I'm not necessarily holding my breath on this, but man, this would be the best Mario Kart ever if they implemented something like that. Now for things they might actually bring back, for number 2, I'm going to just throw in a bunch of quality of life stuff for tryhards like myself. In previous iterations of the Mario Kart franchise, you used to be able to see your in-game time after each race, which, at least in a perfect world, was supposed to help with making runtimes consistent between different versions of the game. When Mario Kart 8 Deluxe released, they inexplicably decided to remove the in-game timer, which really sucks because if you play on the cartridge version of the game like I do, the tracks load about a second slower in comparison to people who have the digital version of the game. And even within the same version of the game, load times can vary greatly between Switches and even get worse over time as your Switch gets older. So yeah, I know that this really only impacts speedrunners like myself, but there's really no reason not to bring this back, especially since it has no impact to more casual players of the game. And also on that note, bring back the speedometer, please. Speaking of time trials, there is a whole host of things that I would really love to see in the next game that would make time trials a lot better, once again, without impacting more casual players at all. The first is that we need better leaderboard filtering. Right now, if you go to the time trial leaderboards for a particular track, you'll see the top 10, and then you'll see your friends that are ahead of you, and then you'll see people who have times that are around yours. I've lost track of the number of people who've hopped into the Discord thinking they're in 11th place worldwide because of this, or thinking they're way better than the vast majority of players because of this histogram that's literally meaningless. Nintendo needs to pull a Trackmania and just show you what your rank is, and also pull in ways to filter for your particular region. Similarly, another thing I'd really like to see is a way to download Ghosts without needing to add somebody as a friend. One of the things that was a huge letdown for me personally is that if you know anything about this channel, you know I make time trial tutorials. And if one of my viewers wants to race against my Ghost, there's no way for them to do that if they're not on my friend list. I feel like it's not too big of an ask to just put my friend code in the description of a video and then have people just search it up if they want to download my Ghosts. And this would also be a huge help for people looking for shroomless time trials, which are just never going to be in the top 10. The last thing I'd really like to see is another addition to time trials, and I know that it's probably a pipe dream, but I like to think big. Now, hear me out. Time trial, elimination, tournaments. Imagine you go online and you create a custom tournament. In addition to selecting from races and battles, you can put in a time trial mode where everyone has 3 attempts to get their best time on a track, with the lowest players getting knocked out and the final 2 players competing for the championship. Cause see, here's the thing. I understand that Nintendo's primarily keeping the casual audience in mind, which is why they did things like rebalance the game in Wave 4 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and nerf bagging in Wave 6. But all the things I've talked about in this video are just extra things that are purely for the benefit of more serious Mario Kart gamers like myself, and they don't impact the wider scene whatsoever. So, do us a solid, Nintendo. Anyways, those are just some of the ideas that I had, but what are some of the features that you'd like to see in the next Mario Kart game? Let me know down in the comments, and I will catch you all in the next video.